Okay, thank you for joining us. My name is Zach Stabler. I'm sitting here with Paula Stabler, candidate for Osage Nation Congress. You can get out and vote on June 4th and visit stablerforcongress.com for more information. Paula, a big piece of your message and ideas is economic development for the Osage Nation. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. This goes hand in hand with a couple of different platforms I have, but when you talk specifically about economic development, I think just about everyone will agree that we've struggled with this. Outside of gaming, it's been a real catastrophe, actually, with economic development. We've tried A-Day programs, we've built LLCs, of course, we've bought the ranch now. We're in the cattle business, and so there's been some good things, and then some things that didn't work so well. So over the years, with some of these older programs and older LLCs, we've just poured money into them, and that was a shock to find out. I think that better controls over LLCs, better controls over planning and communication about the programs or the investments that they're doing would alleviate a lot of the bad things that went on. Now, we've got a couple of really good LLCs that are starting to operate right now, and one, of course, is with the Bluestem Ranch, and that's the Tallgrass, and then there's the other one that is called ONES, Osage Nation Energy. And both of those have a plan. They're moving forward. They're not sinking. They're not trying to, bite off more than they can chew. They've got good boards and professionals in them, and the other one's in a recovery period. So when I think about that, I think that one of the main things that put us in this deep hole was communication. There was nothing being reported out that legally by law they're supposed to. They're supposed to report out every year what's going on with these, and there wasn't, or there might have been reports that were going on internally, but they certainly weren't going out to the public. And I think that's one of the first things I would shoot for is we need to have annual reports coming from any business entity, which would include the health center, which is where I've been working. They should all be reporting annual reports. I think that a better recognition of the people that we're putting into place to run these, better investigation, better backgrounds, that's been a real issue for us in setting up the right people in the boards. I think we've got the right people on some boards right now, and I think they're moving well. But to me, it's always been a communication piece. I was the first communications officer, so I was struggling then with your basic website and email distributions and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that we really found through strategic planning was getting out among the people. And so that's something I want to really focus on. I think it's a two-way street. I'm elected as a legislator. My focus is putting the best foot forward that we can as a nation to achieve the goals of the people. And you have to know what the people's goals are. So I think we're right on the cusp of doing some really great things with economic development, but there needs to be some real role playing of communication with the public, and there needs to be some real serious hard looks about the planning and implementation of these economic development projects. So I want to add that for me, we just did 2 years with the health clinic. It was the hardest 2 years that you could go through. One day you're in a federal program, and literally the next day you're a tribal entity. And so we made it. We did it in the black. It can be done. It can be done, and I want to work with all those programs and those entities and make sure that we are making our best foot forward.
So a big part of your strategy includes communication, includes planning. How exactly do you plan on implementing that? Is there a lack of that right now? Is that the problem? Okay.
Yes, I think that's the biggest problem, is that there's a lack of it. Now, how do you overcome that lack of it? Like I said, I think it's getting out among the people. Again, we used to run town hall meetings. We went across the nation and visited with Osages, and we had hard communication with them and asked them the questions, and they asked us the questions. And I think you've got to have that support, you've got to have that unity, and you've got to have that synergy that moves everything forward. So there's a lot of exciting things getting ready to happen, and I'm going to be there to support them every step of the way and take my role when I need to.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Paul.